Hey guys, this is Cooking with Kurt. Today my husband Donald and I are going to show you how to make a red velvet cake roll.
This roll has the signature texture of a fluffy red velvet cake, cream cheese frosting, and red velvet crumbles on the outside, much like the red ribbon ube roll.
That's right. This recipe was requested by Daisy Advincula, Mary Tajanera, and Jomel Javier. Thank you guys so much for your request. We hope you like this video. To start, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, then take a jelly roll pan which is 10.5 by 15.5 inches, and line it with parchment paper. Do not grease the parchment paper or the pan. Then take a large bowl and a sieve. Add 1 1/4 cups of cake flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa powder, and half a teaspoon of salt. Sift this in. Then take a large stainless steel or glass mixing bowl. Add in 1/4 cup of unsalted room temperature butter and 3/4 cups of granulated sugar. Beat them together on medium speed for about 1 minute till the mixture is nice and fluffy. Then add in 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, 3 room temperature egg yolks, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 2 teaspoons of white vinegar. Beat this together until just combined. Now we're going to alternate between adding the dry ingredients and half a cup of buttermilk, approximately 1/3 at a time. While mixing on low speed, add in 1/3 of the dry ingredients, mix that in, then add in 1/3 of the buttermilk, mix that in, then again with the dry ingredients, then buttermilk, until you've added all of the dry ingredients and all of the buttermilk. Then add in 1 teaspoon of red food coloring and mix it in. We're using gel food coloring because it gives the cake a more vibrant red color, but you can also use liquid food coloring. Here we're using the Americolor soft gel paste, Supez Red. Next, take another stainless steel or glass mixing bowl, add 3 room temperature egg whites, and beat them on high speed for about 3 minutes, till you start to see stiff peaks, like this. Add this into the batter, 1/3 at a time, and gently fold it in, till the batter is smooth and silky, like this. Then pour this into the prepared jelly roll pan, and smooth out the top with your spatula. We're going to bake this in our preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean and the surface springs back when gently pressed.
Now, a simple trick for getting the cake out of the pan is to dust some powdered sugar over the top surface of the cake so it doesn't stick to the parchment paper. Then, take a big piece of parchment paper bigger than the cake, place it over the cake, then place a bigger sheet pan over all of this. Then, wearing oven mitts because it's still hot, flip everything over and slide the bottom parchment paper onto the counter. Remove the baking pan off the cake, and then peel off the parchment paper that the cake was baked with. At this point, cut 1 inch of cake along the long side and about 2 inches of cake from the short side, like this. Set these pieces aside, we're going to crumble these later. While the cake is still warm, dust some additional powdered sugar onto this other side to prevent it from sticking to itself when rolling. Then, using the parchment paper, roll the cake with the parchment paper along the short 10-inch side. Let it cool to room temperature on a wire rack, making sure that the seam of the cake is down. Take the strips of cake we had cut away earlier and tear it into pieces by hand and spread them out evenly onto the same jelly roll baking sheet. We're going to bake this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for another 5 minutes. This will dry out the cake pieces a bit so that the other crumble has more of a matte finish. After 5 minutes, let these crumbs cool to room temperature. Then put them in a food processor and pulse for about a minute until you get fine crumbs like this. Set these red velvet crumbles aside. Next, we're gonna make the frosting. Take a mixing bowl, add in 8 ounces of room temperature cream cheese and half a cup, which is 1 stick, of room temperature unsalted butter, and beat them together on medium speed for about 2 minutes until it's nice and smooth. Then while beating, add in 2 cups of confectioner's sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Beat together on medium speed for about 3 minutes until it's all completely combined, smooth, and creamy.
Put this frosting in the fridge till you're ready to use it. Once the rolled up cake and the crumbs have cooled, we're ready to assemble the red velvet roll. Carefully unroll the cake. Spread a very thin layer of frosting over the cake, about a 1/8 inch thick layer of frosting, all over the top surface. Now compared to the Ube Roll whipped cream frosting, this cream cheese frosting is a lot sweeter and heavier, so we're only adding a thin layer of frosting so it doesn't overwhelm the delicious red velvet flavor of the cake. Then, slowly roll the cake up again, the same direction you did before, but this time without the parchment paper. When you've rolled it all the way, carefully pick up the cake roll and transfer it to your serving dish with the seam side down so it doesn't unroll. Cover the outer surfaces of the cake with a thin layer of frosting. Again, about a 1/8 inch thick layer of frosting. But remember to save some frosting to make rosettes at the top of the cake at the end. Now the next step is a bit messy, so we find it helpful to place a piece of wax paper or parchment paper if you don't have wax paper under the serving dish to help catch crumbs to make cleanup easier. Now just like in the Ube Roll cake video, take the red velvet cake crumbles and cover the sides and the top of the frosted cake to cover the frosting, like this. I left a white strip on top here where the rosettes will go. Clean up the excess crumbs. Then finally, put the remaining frosting in a piping bag and create big rosettes along the top strip of the red velvet roll, about 5 to 6 rosettes. Refrigerate the roll for 2 to 3 hours for the cake to set, then leave it out at room temperature for 20 minutes before serving for the cream cheese frosting to soften. And there it is, our red ribbon inspired red velvet roll.
Yum. Love that velvety texture.
Delicious. Thank you all for watching, and please let us know in the comment section below if you're planning to make this red velvet roll. And if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Cooking with Kurt.
And don't forget to click on the bell so you get notified when we post new cooking videos. Maraming salamat!